And how was it going viral? Was it like a shocking moment? Like, what did you feel?
Yeah, yeah, it definitely was. It definitely was like adrenaline pumping. Like it was like there's so many people like liking your stuff, and now and I felt like kind of a like pressure to where like okay, I have to post now. I have to post this. And I at that point I wasn't ready for like the negative comments because you're gonna get negative comments, and there was a lot of those. And it did affect my mood a little bit, and I think the worst of it was like when you're not going viral anymore, you kind of feel like you're not doing something right, and that's not the case. But for a long time, I felt like, is my music bad? Like, why am I not going viral again? So I really just had to deal with that and just learn that. I mean, it just happens; it will come and go. But I mean, the main goal is to make music.
Welcome to an all new episode of The Introduction. I'm your host, Tarrah Habibi, and I'm sitting here today with 22 Wavy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. So we like to start all our interviews with a simple question. How would you describe your music to someone who's never heard it before?
I would describe it as fun, alien. It's really just like really chill. If you're in a lit mood, you're chilling back on your couch. You can just listen to my music. It's for everyone. I got hype music. I got chill music. So it's just really fun.
Yeah. And how did you get your stage name? I think so many people wonder that.
So in 2020, when everything was super crazy, it was originally like supposed to be like 20 is too wavy, like 20 is so crazy. And then I remembered that 22 was like my number back in middle school for like football and basketball. So I was like, let me just do it 22 wavy instead. So that was really it. It was supposed to be 22 wavy, but I just made it 22 wavy instead.
Yeah. So you came up with your stage name in 2020, you said.
Yes, yep.
Yeah. Is that when you kind of started rapping your career and stuff?
Yeah, that's when. So I was always making music like in high school, but it wasn't like anything like serious. Like I didn't show my friends because I know they would roast me. Uh, but like in 2020, that's when my dad had got me my laptop and my equipment and stuff, and I started off making beats. And then it was like really like kind of more like trap hood music, and it just didn't sound right because I'm from the suburbs, so it was just like I sounded super weird on that, and then I kind of just started experimenting with different sounds, listening to Juice World, Travis Scott, Don Toliver. And I started doing like some singing songs, and I felt like way more comfortable doing that. So that's how I kind of got started with that.
Yeah, and you said you made music in high school. What made you want to start doing music? What was there ever a certain moment where you're like, I really like music? Talk about that.
Yeah, so my dad actually, he was an artist as well, and he always had a studio in the basement, and he was always just rocking out downstairs, and so I was just like, I want to do that, and I didn't really know that I was gonna do that really until like 2020. That's when I was like, okay, I sound good, I sound all right, where I could like work on this. But I've always just wanted to be like some type of entertainer in some sort, and music is just the route that I went.
And what type of artist was your dad?
He was more like old school, like old head and like Tupac type music. So definitely not the same lane as me.
Mhm.
Um, but that's just kind of what he was rocking with.
And was he a rapper?
Yes, yeah, he was a rapper. Yep.
So you grew up listening to all those type of musics. What was like certain songs or artists that you remember growing up listening to?
So it's funny because so he would always play like all of the old songs in the car, like R&B and whatnot, and he just played it so much that I honestly I don't usually listen to that type of music just because we heard it so much that I was like, all right, like I don't want to listen to this anymore. And so I don't listen to really any of the music that he likes. I like more of like Travis Scott, Don Toliver, like that fun music.
Mhm.
So that's who I'm messing with.
Yeah, and would you say those people like inspired some of your music?
100%. I think Kid Cudi is number one. Like he really got me into music. I was going through a lot back in 2020, and so I had Kid Cudi on repeat, and just the way that he connects to artists is the way that I kind of want to connect to my artists and make them feel like they're not alone. So
Yeah, I love that. And how old were you in 2020?
I was 20.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
20 is a
every
very
year is
significant
my
number.
age.
Okay, okay. 20 is a very significant number. Yeah. So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Cary, North Carolina. Now we did move a lot. I lived in Pennsylvania. I lived in Ohio. I was born in Chicago. But Cary, North Carolina is where I lived my childhood life, my full life, high school, middle school. And so it was really cool. definitely the suburban vibe to it. So that's why I gotta switch my music around to make me feel a little bit more comfortable. But I loved it.
Yeah, no, I love that you stayed authentic. And where do you live now?
I live in Columbus, Ohio.
And do you feel that like where you've lived have impacted your music and your style and stuff?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like I got to see just how people are culturally, different cultures, how different races are as far as how they interact. So I feel like I got to experience more than, somebody who lives somewhere else where it's predominantly one place or one race or one religion. And Cary was very diverse. Everybody was every race, every religion. So I really got to learn a lot and kind of expand my mind more. And that really helps my music because I can make music for everyone. 'Cause I know what everyone likes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I want to talk about your song Maria. What was the creative process for that?
So that one, I think I made that song in like 2019 or something like that, 2020. And I was at my dad's house and I think it was like the Don't Matter, is it? I think it was an Akon Don't Matter song or something came on and I had the hook for it. And I had called one of my friends and I had him listen to it and he was like, yo, like add the no 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 I tried no 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 I forgot what song that was from, but I think it was Akon. But I did that and then I sent it to my friend, my good friend Soham, and he was freaking out, coming back, was like, yo, bro, we're at a frat party, like, bro, you gotta drop that. And I swore I was gonna go viral that week because everybody was listening to it. And I was like, oh, I'm up now, and I didn't go viral at all, kind of fell off. And then 2 years later, my manager Naomi, she hit me up when I was living in Florida and was like, hey, like you need to go on TikTok and you need to post Maria on TikTok. And I was like, at this point, I'm so sick and tired of that song. Like I've heard it so many times. I'm like, I don't want to do it. And she was right. It went viral. And then that's kind of when I really was in the gears of being serious.
Yeah. And how was it going viral? Was it like a shocking moment? Like, what did you feel?
Yeah, yeah, it definitely was. It definitely was like adrenaline pumping. Like it was like there's so many people like liking your stuff, and now and I felt like kind of a like pressure to where like okay, I have to post now. I have to post this. And I at that point I wasn't ready for like the negative comments because you're gonna get negative comments, and there was a lot of those. And it did affect my mood a little bit, and I think the worst of it was like when you're not going viral anymore, you kind of feel like you're not doing something right, and that's not the case. But for a long time, I felt like, is my music bad? Like, why am I not going viral again? So I really just had to deal with that and just learn that. I mean, it just happens; it will come and go. But the main goal is to make music.
Yeah. How'd you deal with the negative comments that you did get?
I would actually just respond to them with the nicest comment that you can think possible. Like they'd be like, "This is trash," and I'd be like, "Hey man, it's all love. I love you." And then they would come back saying like, "Hey, I was just kidding," or something like that. So it's just like, why would you comment that? You know what I mean?
Kill them with
So
kindness.
hit them with kindness, exactly.
Yeah. And I've seen that you've been working with United Masters. Can you talk about that collaboration? How's that process been? How did you get that connection?
Yeah, so we made a song called Antidote, which currently has a little over 500,000 streams right now. And that really had an uptick. And so United Masters hit us up in the email, wanted to talk to us more. And then I actually went to LA for Grammys week to visit my sister. We went to the United Masters event and a Spotify event. And we really got to meet the whole entire team. And they're really great people. So shout out to United Masters. Love you guys. And so they really gave us the opportunity to, I guess, prove ourselves. And they've been a lot of help just with syncing and playlisting and stuff like that. So I'm really blessed.
And how is it like going to like these big events?
So that was like the first, like the Spotify one. That was the first event I've ever been to, like as far as like it's serious. So I was a little bit intimidated,
Mhm.
but I was acting like I'm just like I'm confident, it's whatever. But I was in my head, I was like, holy crap, like this this is crazy. But it felt good. I felt like all this work I've done, I feel like I deserve it. And that tells me that I'm doing something right to be able to be in these type of places. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you talk a lot about your sister Naomi. You talked about your dad. How is it working with family?
It's amazing. Now there are times where we will knock heads, but it's all family.
Mhm.
But I think it's really good just because she's somebody who I can trust. She's my blood family. And she just knows what's best for me. And she's somebody who I can just trust with my entire life. So I think it's really great. And she's very supportive, and she's always just really loved my music. And so she's also new into the management industry as well. So we're both, learning a lot together.
Yeah. And your new project that just dropped, The World Is Yours, how was the creative process for that?
So I got a new microphone. This was last year. So we've been making this for about a year and a half, almost 2 years now. And I had just got like a new microphone. And the first song, Your World, I made that one first. Like as soon as I got my microphone, sent it over to Naomi, and we were both just freaking out. And then I made like three more songs on the album that same night, and it was all just like bangers. And I wanted to drop them like that day. Like I was like, can we just drop it now? She's like, no, just wait. It's all about timing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is dropping right now. And then literally maybe a month or two ago, before I just performed in Virginia, she was like, hey, we're gonna drop this album, and I mean, I almost pissed my pants. So, so I was super excited.
Yeah. And you talk about your performance in Virginia, and I've seen you perform a couple places on your Instagram. What was the first time you ever performed?
So the first time I ever performed was actually in Miami, and it was at one of Naomi's work events, and I wouldn't call it like a real performance, just because like it was, it was kind of like a just an event type thing.
Hmm.
But it was really cool. It's definitely nerve-wracking. I get nervous every single time I get on stage. I've always been like that. Even throughout high school, I ran track, and whenever I ran a race, I would just be nervous, and afterward, it'd be fine. But I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. And what were some of your favorite performances that you've done so far?
The one I just did in Virginia, I mean, as far as like the setup goes, the production of that show was definitely the biggest production that I performed at. Everybody was super nice there. I feel like I did really good. I was super confident. I got a lot of good feedback after I was done the show. Got a lot of numbers. So I was really happy with the entire thing.
Yeah, the performance at in Virginia, was it at a festival?
Yeah, yep, Forever Fest. So shout out Jay, and shout out to the whole Forever Fest team. If you guys are watching.
Yeah. And how did you get that connection? How'd you get the link up with Forever Fest?
Yeah, so Jay, which is one of the guys I was working with them, he went to high school with me. So he actually, I saw it on his story that they were getting ready. Well, actually, he hit me up in my DMs, and they were just planning the festival. And I was like, hey, like I'm so down to do that. Just let me know if you guys do it. And it was just like that. He gave me the set list and the time and everything, and there I was.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we always like to end off with like a fun question so our viewers get to know you more. So
Okay.
if we're stuck on a desert island for 6 months and you could only listen to one album the entire time. What album would it be?
Oh my gosh.
A thinker.
I think it'd probably be Days Before Rodeo by Travis Scott. Travis
Travis.
Scott is like that. I mean, his music just gets you floating. That's my favorite type of music.
And you could listen to it for 6 months straight on an
It's
island.
straight. Yup, Travis Scott. Sure, 100%.
Awesome.
And
Okay.
also my album. I know you said one album, but I would also, of course, have my album on there too. So I'd
Yeah,
have it in my
that's
pocket.
fair. For sure. Yeah. You could perform it for yourself. So that doesn't.
Exactly. Exactly. Yo.
Yeah. So that's all for this episode of Introduction. For more episodes like this, make sure to subscribe and like the video. Thank you very much.
See you later. Thank you.